world's most famous aviatrix was missing over the Pacific. Amelia Earhart, on a globe-girdling flight with navigator Fred Noonan, took off for a hop over trackless ocean wastes and was never heard from again. An intensive air-sea search got underway immediately, but not even wreckage was ever found.
On July 2nd, 1937, Amelia Earhart was 19 hours into the hardest leg of her world flight. She had left Lae, New Guinea with Fred Noonan, flying a loaded Lockheed Electra toward Howland Island, more than 2,500 miles of Pacific, one target barely 2 miles long. By morning, Amelia believed she was close, but Howland was not visible. The Coast Guard cutter Itasca waited near the island. At 7:42 a.m., Itasca received her message. She was near Howland, flying at 1,000 feet, low on fuel, and unable to reach the ship by radio. That was the failure. Itasca could hear Amelia. Amelia could not hear Itasca. The ship asked her to transmit on 500 kilocycles, the frequency it needed for a bearing. No answer came back. The trailing antenna needed for that frequency had been removed, so Itasca had her voice, not her position. At 8:43 a.m., Amelia sent the clue that still defines the case: 157-337. Not a location, a line. Then she switched to 6,210 kilocycles. Nothing confirmed came back. No landing, no wreckage, no remains. Amelia Earhart vanished from the record. Before the Pacific, Amelia was already famous. In 1928, she crossed the Atlantic by air as a passenger. She later called herself a sack of potatoes. The press called her Lady Lindy. In 1932, she crossed the Atlantic again, this time alone. Weather and mechanical trouble forced her down near Derry, Northern Ireland, but the achievement held. She became the first woman and only the second person after Lindbergh to fly solo, non-stop across the Atlantic. The first crossing made her famous. The second made her credible. By 1937, the world flight was the final act of that legend. The route ran close to the equator, about 29,000 miles, longer, harder, and less forgiving. By June 29th, Amelia and Noonan had reached Lae. More than 22,000 miles were behind them. The worst leg was next, Lae to Howland. The Electra had been turned into a flying fuel tank. Passenger seats were removed. Extra tanks filled the cabin. At Lae, it carried about 1,100 gallons of fuel, enough to attempt Howland, not enough to miss it for long. Howland was 2 miles long, less than 1 mile wide, low, flat, and surrounded by ocean. Noonan needed to bring the Electra close enough for radio to finish the approach. Dead reckoning gave him time, speed, heading, and wind. Celestial navigation could give him a line of position. But after 19 hours, small errors could grow into miles. Navigation would bring them near. Radio had to bring them in. The final leg was weakened before the Electra left lay. The aircraft had already failed once. In March 1937, at Luke Field, Hawaii, Amelia's first attempt ended during takeoff. The Electra ground looped. The landing gear collapsed. The propellers struck the runway. After repairs, the route reversed. That put Lay to Howland near the end, after weeks of flying. The crew changed too. Harry Manning, the strongest radio operator, was gone. Paul Mance, the technical advisor, was gone. Only Amelia and Noonan remained. Noonan was a serious navigator, but he was not the missing radio safety net. Neither Amelia nor Noonan was strong in Morse code. They relied mainly on voice radio. Then the trailing antenna was removed. That wire was needed for communication around 500 kilocycles. Without it, Amelia lost the cleanest signal ships could use to locate her. The beacon plan also failed. Itasca's agreed signal became 7,500 kilocycles, too high for reliable direction finding. Before departure, Amelia tested the direction finder at Lay and failed to get a useful bearing. The test did not stop the flight. After takeoff, Lay warned of stronger headwinds. Amelia did not acknowledge it. Stronger headwinds meant slower ground speed, later arrival, less fuel. By dawn, every backup had been weakened. No radio expert, no trailing antenna, a failed direction finder test, a bad beacon frequency, an unanswered wind warning. Near Howland, the radio failure became the whole problem. Itasca could hear Amelia clearly. Amelia was not receiving the ship. At 7:42 a.m., she said she must be near them. She could not see the island. Fuel was running low. Itasca asked her to transmit on 500 kilocycles. No answer. Then Amelia asked Itasca to send on 7,500 kilocycles. The signal reached her. But her loop antenna could not find a minimum. No minimum meant no usable direction. She could hear a signal. She still did not know which way to fly. At 8:43 a.m., Itasca heard Amelia again. "We are on the line 157-337. Those numbers were compass directions: 157 degrees southeast, 337 degrees northwest. Together, they formed a line across the map. Noonan had likely calculated it from the morning sun. But a line of position was not a location. It did not say, "We are here." It said, "We are somewhere along this line." That was the trap. If they were north of Howland, they had to search south. If they were south of Howland, they had to search north. Choose wrong, and every mile moved them farther away. No bearing, no island. Low fuel. Amelia switched to 6,210 kilocycles. Nothing confirmed came back. The record ends at 157-337. Somewhere along that line, the Electra disappeared. After the final transmission, Itasca kept calling. No answer. By noon, the flight was missing. Itasca left Howland and searched nearby waters. Amelia's signal had been strong. She had reported low fuel. She believed she was near the island. If the Electra had gone down, it should have been close. But the Pacific gave back nothing. No wreckage, no oil slick, no life raft, no flare. The search expanded. For 16 days, ships and aircraft crossed the ocean. 9 vessels, nearly 4,000 men, 66 aircraft, more than 250,000 square miles. Still nothing. Possible post-loss radio signals pulled attention toward Gardner Island, now Nikumaroro. USS Colorado sent aircraft over Gardner. They saw no Electra, no Amelia, no Noonan. On July 18th, the Navy ended the main search. After 8:43 a.m., the verified record ends. The strongest theory is crash and sink near Howland. Amelia and Noonan likely missed the island, ran low on fuel, and went down in the Pacific. But the plane has never been found. That leaves the questions. Where did the Electra go down? Which way did they turn on 157-337? Did any post-loss radio signals come from them? Did Nikumaroro matter? The weaker theories survived because the wreckage was missing. Japanese capture, secret identity, spy mission. None has strong proof. The hard evidence is smaller. A final radio line, a failed search, an empty ocean. Amelia Earhart did not leave any clues. She left too few, and the Pacific kept the rest.